There's tough terrain, and then there's mountains in the desert. Scots DG have had the Jackal for 3.5 years, but now the Light Cavalry Regiment are upping their skills in a totally new environment.
It's not just one kind of sand. The white coloured sand is softer and harder to drive on, and more red coloured gritty sand is a lot easier to manoeuvre across. Also, the dunes out here, the wind predominantly comes from the north, so that bakes the north side of the dunes hard, which makes them easier to drive on. And conversely, the south side of the dunes, it's a lot softer, so that's harder to drive on.
We've already covered over 700 kilometres. We've probably got about another 1,000 to do over the course of the exercise. So for our expeditionary and sort of long-range recce capability, it's absolutely brilliant.
Scots DG are based on the coast of Scotland. So one thing that I know since speaking to them out here is that up until now, they haven't really been able to push these vehicles. And now in the UAE, they've gone from desert terrain right up into the mountains, and they've really been able to push these vehicles to the limit. And I know I'm wearing all of this protective wear, but after hours of travelling in these, one thing that shocked me was that they're actually quite comfortable.
Slightly more important than my comfort was how the vehicles performed, and the men on the ground were happy.
We were expecting them to find the sand a little bit difficult, to be honest. Having spoken to Supercat, the company that makes them, we thought we might struggle because we can't let the tyre pressures down. We did anyway, dropped it to 20 psi, and they were absolutely outstanding. The vehicles have performed brilliantly.
It's no coincidence the vehicles worked well out here. They were designed for it.
It's built for the desert, really. It's an awesome bit of kit. So the engine is right slap bang in the middle. The gunner actually stands on the engine, and right behind here, right behind these fans and radiators, that's where the engine sat. It sat right in between the two wheels for the distribution of weight, and it helps with traction so much more. We've got tyres as well. These tyres are rugged, they're robust, they're strong. I've only seen one pop ever. That was yesterday. We deflate them when we're in the dunes, just to give us a little bit more surface area, a little bit more grip. Out here, in this rugged terrain where there's rocks everywhere, these are brilliant. They just chew up the terrain like it's nothing.
The Brits did use the Emiratis Humvees on Exercise Desert Falcon, but they were always happy to be back in the Jackal.
Because we've been doing the recovery in the desert and stuff, the Jackal and Coyotes have definitely been better. The Humvees kept getting stuck all the time, even though they can lower the tyre pressures. They just didn't have enough ground clearance in the desert.
The Jackal will literally go anywhere, and it's fantastic. Humvees, we've taken those over. They've worked well. They're quite old, noisy, and their cross-country capability isn't anywhere close to them.
It's good to drive, but it's like an empty shell. It's not very practical for what we require it. You feel every single brick in this terrain, and you know, especially with passengers, are just getting thrown all over the place.
As highly as they rated their vehicles, the drivers were quick to point out, even the best vehicle can't drive itself.
I think it's not down really to the vehicle, it's down to the driver. The best asset to that vehicle is the driver, and it has shown through. Like, as we've gotten more experience with the desert, the vehicle's gotten better. But now that we're in the mountain sort of region, the vehicle's more coming into its own. Like, it looks a lot better and it's coping a lot better. But all round it's a decent vehicle, it's a decent tool, and it does what we need it to do.
So self-confidence is high, and time in the desert has left the whole unit feeling good about itself.
We are rapidly deployable and readily employable in any situation. So I'll give you an example of that. We flew into Minad. We landed at 1:30 in the morning. By 1500 that afternoon, we were driving out on exercise.
And they all know exactly how quickly they can be ready for action.
We've demonstrated the capability of the light cavalry to be anywhere in the world and operating flight time plus 12 hours.
We can be pretty much anywhere in the world, flight time plus 12 hours.
We're able to get everything ready in 12 hours.
Ashley Cowie, Forces News, in the United Arab Emirates.